Jane. Why are you keeping to yourself? Don't cry. Tell me what's wrong. Maybe I can help.
I'm worried I could be...
You could be pregnant? That's bad news. But you can go to the Family Planning Association or Mother's Choice for advice.
No. I'm worried I might have VD.
What? Venereal disease? You don't hang around with bad guys. How could you have got that? Don't worry.
I've got reasons to worry. Hi, Dad.
Hi, Jane. Done your homework?
Yeah.
I hate you. You've been fooling around with prostitutes and giving me VD.
No, I haven't.
You're lying. I had an uncomfortable feeling in my groin, so I went to the clinic. The doctor said I had VD, and I could only have got it from you.
I swear I've never been to those places. There's no way I could get VD.
You're a liar. Where were you last Saturday night?
I told you already. I went on a business trip to Shenzhen with my boss. We stayed in a luxury hotel overnight.
And was it completely a night of business?
I did fool around with a woman for a short while, but it's the first time in my life. I don't think I could catch VD from that.
So you admit you're guilty? The doctor said I should take you for a test. You have to leave work early tomorrow for the appointment.
All right.
Could James have got it? Oh, God.
Fanny, I'm scared to death.
I read that venereal diseases are transmitted through sexual intercourse. You haven't been fooling around, so don't worry.
But the whole family's clothes are washed in the machine together. It's easy for infectious stuff on my parents' underwear to contaminate mine. When I put the underwear on, I could have got an infection.
The VD germs might not survive in a hot detergent solution in a washing machine.
After the swimming lesson the other day, I was in a hurry and I confused May's pants with mine and put them on. Since I realised that, I've been staying at home.
Don't worry, May doesn't have VD.
May does have VD.
What? How did you know that?
Yesterday afternoon.
Steve, I've had an uncomfortable feeling in my groin since that night last week. I went to the doctor yesterday. He told me it could be a symptom of VD and advised me to go for a checkup at a clinic in Yamate. I'm scared. Will you go with me?
Fanny, help me please.
I remember Miss Chan once said that she had a lot of doctor friends. Let's ask her advice. And I promise to come with you to see the doctor next Monday morning. Good morning, Dr. Ng. We are students of Miss Chelsea Chan. Miss Chan advised us to visit you.
Oh yes, please sit down. Miss Chen told me the day before yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm preparing for a lecture in the afternoon. Let's discuss it in here, okay? Tell me the problem. Let me see if I can help.
It's not my problem. It's Jane's. I accompany her for support.
Dr. Ng, I'm afraid I might have VD. I don't know anything about VD or how a person can get infected. Could you tell me something about it?
Okay, VD stands for venereal disease. That's a layman term. In 1975, the World Health Organization, WHO, replaced the term VD with a new official name, sexually transmitted disease, STD. They defined STDs as diseases transmitted through sexual intercourse or intimate physical contacts.
Dr. Ng, do you mean that there are many types of infectious diseases grouped as STDs?
Exactly. WHO classified 30 types of diseases as sexually transmitted diseases. Examples are syphilis, gonorrhea, chancroid, trichomoniasis, pubic lice, and AIDS. In Hong Kong, the most frequently reported STDs are non-gonococcal urethritis in men, chlamydia genital infection in women, genital warts, gonorrhea, genital herpes, syphilis, AIDS, and so on.
What a complicated list!
How can we tell which one is which?
Don't worry, let me tell you the most obvious symptoms of 7 common STDs. The first example is gonorrhea. It's one of the most frequently reported STDs in Hong Kong today. This disease is caused by gonococcus bacteria. The bacteria infect the urethra. Symptoms appear 2 to 3 days after infection. Infected men suffer from frequent urination, severe pain on urination, and a white pus-laden discharge exuding from the urethral opening. Most women don't develop noticeable symptoms. Many may discover a bad-smelling yellow-green pus-like secretion from the vulva, and they may need to urinate a lot and suffer severe pain on doing so. If the patient isn't treated, the bacteria spread along the urethra to affect the entire reproductive system, causing complications. The bacteria may also spread to the joints and other body parts, causing all sorts of damage. Jane, you thought you might have an STD. Have you noticed any of the symptoms?
I'm not aware of them.
That means you probably don't have gonorrhea. Now let's consider some other STDs. The 2 most commonly reported STDs in Hong Kong these days are non-gonococcal urethritis in men and chlamydia genital infection in women. They may be caused by different pathogens, such as chlamydia. However, they have similar symptoms. Their symptoms and complications are similar to those of gonorrhea. The 4th example is syphilis. Syphilis causes much more serious damage than the 3 diseases I've already mentioned. Syphilis can be fatal. It's caused by Treponema pallidum bacteria. The patient is infected through sexual intercourse. After entering the human body, the bacteria may lie dormant for 9 to 90 days. Most patients don't have visible symptoms until 3 to 4 weeks after infection. The earliest symptom is the appearance of lesions on the surface of the genitals. At this point, the patient feels no pain. In men, it's easy to see the lesions. In women, the lesions are rarely noticed because the surface of the vaginal wall is hidden. They can only be discovered by careful inspection by a doctor. With or without medical treatment, the lesions may heal spontaneously. If the patient is not treated in time, the bacteria will spread throughout the body. In the 2nd stage of syphilis, the main symptoms include fever, tiredness, rash, and swollen lymph nodes. At this stage, even without treatment, the symptoms may soon fade. This is the dormant stage of syphilis. The patient may have no symptoms at all, but a blood test will reveal the presence of syphilis. It may take several years or even several decades for syphilis to develop into its final stage. The heart, blood vessels, and brain may all be affected by the bacteria, resulting in blindness, disability, mental disorders, and even death. The 5th type of STD is genital herpes, or herpes type 2. This disease is caused by the herpes simplex virus type 2, which is transmitted through sexual intercourse. The virus may lie dormant for 5 to 6 days after entering the human body. Genital herpes affects the surface of the genital organs. At first, the infected area becomes itchy. Then, many small vesicles appear, ranging from the size of a needlepoint to that of a small bean. The vesicles cause no pain. Soon, they burst and the fluid oozes out, and a painful ulcer develops. Women may suffer severe pain on urination. Other symptoms are tiredness, fever, sore muscle, and swollen lymph nodes. 2 or 3 weeks later, these symptoms may disappear spontaneously. The ulcer, unless it's infected by bacteria, will also heal spontaneously. After that, the virus may lie dormant in the body of some patients and become reactivated from time to time. Genital warts may look like genital herpes. They are also transmitted through sexual intercourse. However, the wart virus lies dormant for 3 months. The main symptom is the appearance of small outgrowths on the surface of the genital organ. These outgrowths soon develop to a large mass. Some may eventually burst, bleed, and become inflamed. If genital warts aren't cured, they may give rise to skin cancer after an extended period.
That's terrible.
Dr. Ng, many people think that AIDS is an STD, but others argue that it is not. Can you tell me if AIDS really is an STD?
ACE stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome. It's caused by the HIV virus. People are usually infected through sexual intercourse with someone else who has the HIV virus. In this way, AIDS is certainly an STD. However, recipients of blood transfusions may be given blood or blood products contaminated by HIV virus particles. Unfortunately, they too will then be infected with AIDS. Most victims don't develop any symptoms in the initial stage of HIV infection. The virus may attack lymphatic cells in the blood, leading to a gradual loss of immunity and eventual death. About half of those infected with HIV develop full-blown AIDS within 10 years. In the early stage of the disease, some may experience tiredness, fever, loss of appetite, persistent diarrhea, loss of body weight, and night sweats. Meanwhile, the lymph nodes in the neck and the armpits may swell up. There's no cure for AIDS.
AIDS patients are doomed.
People who get AIDS through sex may have brought it on themselves, but those who get HIV through blood transfusions are blameless. They just keep getting weaker until they die. That's so sad.
As doctors, looking after dying AIDS patients but unable to cure them, we feel very sorry. All we can do is to give supplementary medicine that will help them fight infection from other viruses and bacteria. We do our very best to improve their health condition and quality of life. The general public should have compassion on AIDS patients.
Could we get infected?
HIV is not a highly infectious virus. It cannot be transmitted through air or everyday social contact.
Can the other sexually transmitted diseases be transmitted to innocent people through means other than sexual intercourse or intimate body contact, such as everyday social activities?
Sexually transmitted diseases cannot be transmitted through everyday social contact, such as dining at the same table, taking buses with others, or swimming in public swimming pools. Only in very rare situations, such as if you touch an ulcer or discharge from an STD patient and you have a wound on your body part in contact, would you be infected by STD pathogens?
What if my clothes are mixed with an STD patient's clothes in a washing machine? Can I catch it this way?
It's highly unlikely.
What about if I put on a patient's pants?
Well, it's not a hygienic thing to do. If the worst comes to the worst, and there is a fresh discharge or pus from the patient on the pants, and if by the smallest chance this comes into contact with your vulva, there is a slim possibility of infection.
Does that mean I'm infected?
Well, have you noticed any symptoms?
You've said so many things. I'm confused now.
Alright, let me briefly list some common STD symptoms. If you notice the following changes in your genital organs, such as itchiness, a hot feeling, abnormal epidermal changes, frequent urination, severe pain on urination, and a sudden increase in the amount of white discharge from the vagina, or the discharge becoming yellow or green, or if you detect any of the following things in your genital organ or anus: swelling, ulcers, outgrowths, or secretion of pus, then you might have contracted a sexually transmitted disease. Have you noticed any such symptoms?
No, I haven't.
Then I'm almost certain you haven't been infected with an STD.
But you told us that some STDs may lie dormant at the early stage. Could that apply to Jane?
Well, if you do detect any symptoms of STD, or if you suspect you may have been infected, you should consult the doctor immediately. The Department of Health runs a social hygiene clinic in some of its hospitals, clinics and health centers. The doctors in the social hygiene clinics specialize in diagnosing and curing STDs. The service is free. You can drop in anytime within office hours. Your data will be strictly confidential. Given timely treatment soon after infection, all STDs, with the exception of AIDS, can be treated and cured. You should consult registered doctors only, and only take medicines prescribed by them.
I see. Sexually transmitted diseases are very serious diseases indeed. We had better refrain from intimate contact with other people. We should take them seriously.
But in our daily life, we may often come in contact with STD patients. Although STDs aren't passed on through everyday social interaction, we should be prepared for unlikely possibilities. Dr. Ng, would you please teach us what precautions to take?
STDs are transmitted mainly through sexual intercourse. They are not transmitted through everyday social interactions. All the same, we should develop good social hygienic habits. For example, we should cover skin wounds with plasters to stop germs from getting into our bodies. When you eat out, don't clean your face with the moist towels provided by the restaurant. Well then, do you have any more questions?
I think that's enough. We've learned a lot. Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
Dr. Ng, we've taken up a lot of your time. We'd better go.
Goodbye.